Welcome to the National STEM Championship Grand Final 2025. Welcome! Woo! I'm Sonia, and this is the prestigious competition that stretches school teams on their science, technology, engineering, and mathematics knowledge. Now, from 45 schools, we now have the final four. The question is, who will slay this competition and be crowned champion for 2025? Are you ready to meet our brainy finalists? All right, please welcome Anglo-Chinese School Independence. ACSI, how did you like that video? That was cool, right? Awesome. Okay, how confident are you that you can reclaim the title this year?
Well, we are fairly confident. We believe we have good chemistry, communication, and collaboration. And we all have different skill sets, so we'll use that to our advantage. So with that, I think we can excel and go far.
Our next school could claim this championship for the very first time. Let's give it up for St. Joseph's Institution. Looking good, SJI. Okay, tell me now, what kind of mindset are you going into this competition here today?
We have kind of an optimistic mindset because at this point, we have nothing left to lose.
Our next school is the defending champion. Please welcome NUS High School of Math and Science. Welcome, NUS High. So I understand there could be a lot of pressure, seeing how your seniors performed previously, but how are you dealing with that, being the defending champions?
Well, there has definitely been a lot of pressure, but I think the support from our friends and family has helped to ease that.
Like SJI, our final team is also on a quest for their very first championship win. Their school celebrates its 90th anniversary this year, so could this be a great birthday present? So let's hear it nice and loud for Catholic High School! Welcome you guys to the stage. How have you been preparing for the grand final?
We familiarized ourselves with various scientific concepts in preparation for the rapid response round. And as for our presentation and prototype later, we stayed back after school on countless days to make sure it's up to standard.
Yes! Now, it is time to meet the 5 people who will have a big impact on today's final result. So let's give a big hand to our judges, starting with the Chief Executive of the Science Center Board, Ms. Tam Mansi. Next, we have the Executive Director of the Institute of Molecular and Cell Biology at A-STAR, Associate Professor Su Sin Yi. From the School of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering at Nanyang Technological University, please welcome Professor Wang Yifang. And next, from the Department of Physics and Biological Sciences, National University of Singapore, Associate Professor Dr. Dwayne Loh. And last but not least, from the Science, Mathematics and Technology Cluster at the Singapore University of Technology and Design, it is Dr. Sher Han Song. We also extend our warmest welcome to our guest of honor, Acting Minister for Culture, Community and Youth, and Senior Minister of State for Education, Mr. David Neo. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us today. So back to the show. Now, I've done this show enough to know that 3 rounds will determine this year's champion. Round 1 is the on-site challenge. So this year's focus is on the hot topic of climate change, pun intended. What was the puzzle given by the Earth Observatory of Singapore? Let's find out. A visit to the institution would provide insights and clues to the challenge the teams were about to undertake.
So the Earth Observatory of Singapore is a research centre here at Nanyang Technological University that was established back in 2008 to examine geohazards in the region, including earthquakes, volcanoes and tsunamis, and climate change, and some of the most pressing challenges that we face here throughout Southeast Asia.
The teams learned that the remote sensing lab uses technology like satellites to map disaster areas. Defining accessible areas helps to quickly direct resources for humanitarian aid.
Because they use satellite imagery, they can cover wide areas, so we can really understand those hazards and disasters, in a very broad context. So we can also prepare, better understand, how they happen, and we can prepare for future ones as well.
At the Centre for Geohazard Observations, teams learned that Singapore collaborates with regional countries to install and manage geophysical and field instrumentation networks to monitor hazards like earthquakes and volcanic activity.
So we need to understand all these hazards in a regional scale, because these hazards don't know boundaries. So once we know better all these hazards and the risk, we can actually prepare ourselves and we can have infrastructures appropriate for this level of hazards.
Another critical department is the Coral Reef Geomorphology Group. They study the ecology and structure of reefs and how climate change can impact their growth.
Because coral reefs, if you have them at coastlines, they help protect our coast from wave energy. So they can protect our coast from coastal erosion, very small tsunamis, wave action.
Armed with all these clues, the teams were ready to start their challenge.
This is now the main part of the challenge. So today's challenge is going to be very creative. We want you to think about solutions to protect, your people, your infrastructure. If you're living, for example, in Philippines, around Manila, or if you're living in Singapore.
The challenge is to build coastal protection strategies for 2 cities, Singapore and Manila. Teams need to identify the hazards that the coastlines face. For example, rising sea levels for Singapore and tsunamis for Manila. Using materials such as pipe cleaners, rock debris, and wooden sticks, they will have to construct appropriate protection measures for each city, such as mangrove trees, corals, and seawalls. Teams have 75 minutes to complete their challenge. They have 5 minutes to demonstrate their knowledge and protection strategies to the judges in a creative way. Finally, there is a 5-minute question and answer session.
Teams, your 75 minutes challenge starts now.
Okay, the building will look like a rectangle, right? This should be in the middle, and then there should be sticks linking to this. And this is the weight. It helps prevent it from shaking.
Yeah.
This is like Taipei 101.
Can.
So they have like a heavy ball, so you guys can use it.
I do this one first.
Yeah. Try to make it look nicer, like also creative.
Are there points for aesthetics?
I mean, but everyone's one will be quite similar, right? So I'll say the way you excel is through aesthetics.
So since we have 4 people in our team, we decided to split up the 2 different cities that we had to work on into 2 groups. So 2 of us did one city while the other 2 did another. And then following that, we listed out what kind of different both preventive and protective measures we could put in place to for our project. Yeah.
Wait, are we able to get some of the extra materials?
Wait, yeah, we can. Just go take if you want.
Does this look like a volcano, guys?
It's okay, close enough. Yeah, close enough. Very good already.
Yeah, okay. I bet art students will be crying at my amazing volcano. Does this stick on the felt?
No.
It does.
Wait, so what's my part?
Your part is to explain your features and how it helps
You
for
decide
the
which cosine you want.
well-being.
Wait, so will you talk about the hazards or will me and Sai talk about the hazards?
I will talk about the hazards. I guess we faced quite a few challenges when we were doing this challenge because our team is not a very geography-heavy group and we're not very familiar with a lot of the concepts in geography.
No. In Singapore, right, it's only at the corners have rocks.
Oh yeah, huh? Yeah, then you only have the corners have rocks, then the middle of the water can still come in, right? Actually, wait, no, it's not like that.
Wait, then why would...
We just say the rocks are not that high.
Actually, wait, in Singapore,
let's just say
you
the
can
rocks
walk
are
the
like
rocks,
like 1 meter high, because the tall
I
waves
swear
are
Singapore like that, I don't know.
Wait, that's Manila. Huh? That's Manila.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Manila. Oh.
It looks a bit plain at the back.
Yeah, too plain.
We'll put a house there, what?
Eh?
Yeah, we will.
Then the house we
Wait,
make it
Singapore
bigger.
has skyscrapers, so...
After seeing the materials, we thought of every possible thing that we could do with the materials. With what they have taught us, like the corals, we just tried to implement everything we could think.
Mangroves.
Can we open this too?
Yeah, sure.
First thought was to build like something earthquake-proof because the tables were kind of split into two, so they might be shaking them or something. Our second idea was something about flooding of coastal areas, and we had to like build something to like stop the rising ocean currents or tropical storms.
Yo, where's the other
Singapore's
half?
buildings are already elevated. We don't need to worry about elevating buildings anymore. And plus, Singapore doesn't experience that high of floods.
Yeah.
So, not that high. You need to elevate the building.
Hey, 5 seconds, 5 seconds.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Don't touch. What in the MasterChef is this? Hands up.
Don't touch it.
Just like Singapore, Manila also faces the common threat of floods as well as rising sea levels. However, we also have one more threat that we face, which is tsunamis. Therefore, to prevent this, we have mangroves which act as a buffer in between the city and the ocean and absorb the impact of the tsunami. We also have tsunami sensors which can predict when the next tsunami will happen.
That's a question. I see you've used a lot of sensors. How are the sensors going to be used? For example, it detects something coming, what's the response?
So having placed these sensors, and let's say we do see a disaster going to come and impact Singapore, we then try to contact and work with the government to come up with necessary measures, perhaps evacuation.
ACSI brought it to the table with really graphic model with a lot of detail to it. They answered questions pretty well. Overall, a really good performance.
Flounder, my best friend. I'm no longer a mermaid. I finally have legs to explore the human world.
That's great, Ariel. As a fish, I have explored many regions, and there are some regions which are very dangerous due to the geohazards they experience, such as the Southeast Asia region.
Hey, that's not true. Don't you know that coastlines like us have implemented all sorts of measures to ensure the safety of the people living there?
Wait, but who are you guys?
I'm Manila's coastline. And I'm Singapore's coastline. Wouldn't you love to come visit us?
Wait, Ariel, don't listen to them. Look at this graph that I have here. This is a graph of the Southeast Asia region, and as you can see here, Philippines is colored in red. This means that Philippines experiences a high risk of seismic and typhoon activities.
NUS High, I could see that they have put a lot of thought in the process, but I hope they put a little bit more effort in adding more details in the prototype.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most exciting show of your lives. I'm your host, Shlok. Today, we have 3 special guests, 1 from Singapore and 2 from Manila. So let's let our Singaporean speaker start first.
Strong presentation start, which really helped drive home the emphasis of what the coastal protection strategy was about.
We have a coral reef and a set of mangroves over here to break wave energy. Also, similarly, we do have a physical barrier to stop rising sea levels.
Man, oh man, do I love being in Singapore's beaches. Oh, what's that? Is it a mangrove? What does it do? Well, we are from Tsunami Co, and we designed the coastal defenses of Singapore. We are defending against natural threats that Singapore could face, such as rising sea levels and smaller waves, which could cause coastal erosion. These corals over here just make my experience at the beach better. They don't hinder it in any way. How are they supposed to help against stronger attacks?
These corals act as natural breakwaters to dissipate the wave energy.
Kathy Kai certainly brought a very animated model and performance to the presentation. Some really interesting solutions. Overall, a really solid effort from Kathy Kai.
Beyond the creativity of the mangrove trees and corals, were the teams able to really get to the crux of the matter? The answer and the scores after the break.
Beyond the creativity of the mangrove trees and corals, were the teams able to really get to the crux of the matter? The answer and the scores after the break.
'Cause 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 ' Welcome back to the National STEM Championship Grand Final 2025. Before the break, we saw the teams in the on-site challenge at the Earth Observatory of Singapore. So which one of them really impressed the judges the most? Let's take a look at the raw scores. In fourth place, we have NUS High School. In third place, St. Joseph's Institution. In second place, Catholic High School with 78 points. And in first place, ACSI with 80 points. Congratulations. Please give them all a big round of applause for their efforts. So a quick explanation. What you've seen are the raw scores. They will be converted later to a weighted score. Now, round 1 carries a weightage of 40%. Round 2 is 25%, and round 3 is 35%. So still plenty of points to play for, not to worry. Now let's get to round 2, which is the Mystery Challenge. Teams drew lots and were given $150 and 3 weeks to build a prototype based on their topic. Another surprise for them, we've actually assigned each team their own personal celebrity cheerleader. So DJ Germaine Tan went to see how ACSI was doing. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Germaine Tan, a 987 DJ, and I'm on Team ACSI as their cheerleader. Their challenge was to design a system that can simulate a hydraulic press or lift. I'll go find out more about it and see if my secondary school science can keep up. Let's go!
From this large syringe over here to this 4 smaller syringes. And then we'll then be putting a weight on it and then we'll push the entire thing up. This is a height sensor. It will sound when it reaches a ceiling.
Oh, wow! So I really loved the boys' presentation because I think they were very well rehearsed. They knew what to say, did not stumble over their words. They knew what movements to do, where to walk as well, and they had a whole storyline to it.
With physics, we are all worthy.
And that's Team ACSI. I think you guys are prepared for tomorrow. My role at the Grand Finals is to be your #1 supporter, but your role is to give an award-winning presentation, all right? The best is yet to be. Let's do it!
3, 2, 1.
AC! ACSI, your boys are about to take the stage for round 2, the presentation. You guys ready to cheer them on? All right, cheer captains, I'm gonna count you down in 3, 2, 1.
Let's go, AC, let's go!
Let's go, AC, let's go! Let's go, AC, let's go!
Let's go, AC, let's go!
ACSI, are you ready? All right, fantastic. Your 4 minutes will start now.
I am Thor, Prince of Asgard, son of Odin, and the proud owner of this hammer, the Mjolnir. Today I have a challenge for all of you human beings. Whoever can lift my hammer will be deemed worthy by me. Any takers?
I'll show you.
How about hydraulics? Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Thor, Prince of Asgard, we have a solution. Have you ever heard of hydraulics?
Hydraulics? There'll be no match for my hammer.
Well, let me tell you more about hydraulics. Hydraulics is a system that uses liquids to transmit force from one place to another. With this, even the heaviest objects can be lifted using minimal force.
I see. The principle behind hydraulics is just Pascal's law, which states that a pressure change at any point in a confined, incompressible liquid is transmitted equally throughout the liquid and to the walls of the container.
Is there any more?
Yes, our system is governed by 2 main principles. The first being that pressure equals force over area, and the second being that distance times force of one piston equals to the distance times force of another. This shows that force can be easily multiplied just by increasing the cross-sectional area of the piston. However, the only drawback is that this comes at a cost of reduced distance when you increase the force.
Now, I would like to show you the prototype of our own self-made hydraulic lift. It includes parts such as a water pump, a lift platform, a cardboard frame, and these are all enhanced by the height safety sensor. Some calculations that we have made for a hydraulic lift is that the area of the input piston is 11.3 centimeters square, while the area of the 4 output pistons comes to about 36.3 centimeters square. Hence, we have a force multiplication of about 3.2 times. This means that with a force of 100 newtons, we can lift something as heavy as 32 kilograms.
Well, this is all theoretical though. Show me some proof.
If you dare to put your Mjolnir on our hydraulic lift. I will show you that science is worthy.
What? How is that possible? Well, is this applicable in any other context?
Well, yes. Here are some real-life examples. Hydraulics is used in your construction equipment
automotive systems, and even in your barber shops, where you're getting your low taper fades and your buzz cuts, hydraulics is also present in your barber chairs. This links back to the theme of environmental science as it increases efficiency. Now presenting to you our very own hydraulic crane.
Well, can't lie, that does look pretty impressive.
Our hydraulic crane consists of 4 hinge pairs, each controlling base rotation, height, angle, and a claw respectively. Here are some parts of our crane. Control box, base control, arm control, and claw control respectively. Now let me show you how to use it.
First, you can start by rotating the base so the claws line up with the cup. Then, lower the arms of the crane, and then tighten the claws to pick up the cup. Then, lift the arm back up, and you can then transport the cup. Although this is a small-scale model, it shows how easy hydraulics are to implement in the real world.
Yes, and even in larger scale models, hydraulics can be used to lift much heavier objects over much greater distances.
Can't you see that with physics, your Mjolnir is no match for our hydraulic systems?
Well, all my life, I thought that only the strongest and most powerful people were worthy of lifting my hammer. But today I saw a different kind of strength. I saw the strength of science. And with science, if you are able to lift seemingly unliftable objects, just like this hammer, I'm sure we can overcome unmovable obstacles. So, it is with great confidence that I say, with physics,
we are all worthy.
Thank you.
In natural hydraulics, the fluid of choice is usually not water. It's some form of oil or maybe hydrocarbon. Have you considered what that does to the way that you've explained the whole process to us?
So if you use oil instead of water, it will help as it will lubricate the system, and it will also prevent corrosion. Also, it works at a better temperature range too.
Thank you, ACSI. Job well done. Now let's see what box of surprises our next team has. Giving SJI all their support is Jernelle O. Maybe her acting skills can help them a little bit. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Jernelle O and I'm an actress. I'm so excited to be paired with St. Joseph Institution. Their challenge is to create a smart waste segregation bin, and I can't wait for it to become a reality so that we can increase our recycling rates. Let's go take a look at their prototype.
We can scan.
No, because the code won't be running. Why? Because we need our phone, and we don't have access to our phone.
Because the prototype wasn't working that well, they were too focused on the prototype instead of the presentation itself. So, but I can tell that they're problem solvers, which really makes me happy because it shows how resilient they are in trying to make this work.
They need like a metal thing so that they're able. Can I use my watch?
Just hold it then.
Alright, I'll hold it here. Alright, Team SJI, so I'll be with your school supporters. You'll hear our voices and feel our energy, okay? We wish you all the best and you guys can do it! Come on, Team SJI! Team SJI! Alright, Team SJI, let's show everyone what you've got! 3, 2, 1!
North, South, East, West. North, South, East, West, who's the best? SJI is the best! Go
SJI! Thank you for cheering for your schoolmates. So, Team SJI, I hope you're ready. Your 4 minutes will start now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most exciting show on the planet. I'm your host Shlok, and today I've invited 3 engineers from across the world who believe that they have created a contraption that can give our world a second life. But let's hear about it from them themselves.
Hi, I'm Architect Ting Yi, and today I'll be sharing with you an issue that Singapore faces. Did you know, in Singapore, all of the recyclables are sorted out manually? This takes up a lot of time, manpower, and effort. Therefore, our team have come together to create a bin that can do that automatically, which reduces cost and time. How did we come up with this prototype? First, we imagined a vertical bin with arms that could pull out items and sort them. While this idea seems workable, it is not practical because of its high cost and how intricate it is. Therefore, we moved on to our second prototype, which is a conveyor-style bin that uses sensors to separate the different materials. Although it works, this conveyor belt takes up quite a bit of energy, which does not align with our group's goal of being environmentally friendly. So we moved on to the last prototype, which is the one that uses density differences to sort out the materials. While it is a clever way to sort out the materials, it does not really work because it would involve submerging the items in liquid, which would stain the item and raise concerns over its recyclability afterwards. Therefore, learning from these issues, we have come up with the final prototype, which works on the issues in the previous 3 prototypes.
So your prototype definitely looks really interesting. Looking at this, it looks something like a rocket ship. Can you tell me more about it?
I'm Engineer Dylan, and I have brought Sydney's idea to life. So firstly, there's this camera on the side that scans the material when put in front of it. So after this, it will send a signal to the Raspberry Pi inside, which is essentially just a small computer. And then after that, it will send a signal to the servos, depending on which material type it is, to activate the corresponding trap door. So after that, the person can just drop the trash in, roll down the ramp, as you see here, and it will fall automatically into the segregated bin through the hole that the trapdoor is open.
This bin looks really cool, but you mentioned something about Raspberry Pi. Can you tell me about how the coding works?
Well, that's where I come in. Hi, I'm Sean, the CS, and I'm gonna tell you how this works after the Raspberry Pi takes a photo. First of all, after it takes a photo, it uploads this photo through an API request, basically Google searching, and sends it to an AI model, which will find out whether this is paper, plastic, metal, or glass. It will then send this back to the servos, which will open into each sub-bin. This is basically like the eyes, the brain, and the hands of it moving all in tandem.
So it's great to hear so many different people trying to solve the recycling problem we have in Singapore. And I truly believe that with Second Life, their prototype, they can definitely give our world a second life. And that's a wrap.
Thank you very much, SJ. We're going to throw it to the judges real quick to see if they've got any thoughts or questions for you. Judges, please.
So many people are used to the normal waste bin because it's simply easier to use. Have you implemented any features, or would you like to implement features that encourages people to use this bin more compared to the normal waste bin?
Using this bin is far more convenient than normal recycling, because in normal recycling, there is a blue bin and a green bin, and then you yourself have to decipher if it's recyclable or not. And there's many factors that come into that, including was it contaminated by food waste? If we get to develop this idea more, we would add a feature to identify food contamination. So we can identify it and put it in general waste rather than recycling. So it's far easier to use.
We would like to implement a feature seen in the German fund, where when you throw your rubbish in, it would give you back a small monetary compensation, depending on what type of material it is.
Thank you, SJI. Wow. Really enjoyed that. That was very tense, though. NUS High and Catholic High are up next, but can they come up with an even better presentation for a shot at the 2025 title? The answer right after the break. Welcome back to the National STEM Championship 2025, where we're in the midst of round 2, the Mystery Challenge. Now, next up is the team from NUS High. We actually sent YouTuber and content creator Hafiz Aziz to find out how their preparations were going along. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Hafiz and I do content creation for a living. And today I've been partnered up with NUS High School. And I heard that they are the defending champion. So I'm pretty sure that their prototype for a smart agriculture system is looking good. Let's take a look.
No one's having their Christmas wish granted on my watch.
Ho ho ho! Not so fast, Grinch.
With Santa here, you are never crushing the Christmas spirit.
They're really confident and all, but they are referring to a script. I do advise them that they have to maintain eye contact with the judges, with the audience, to perform really, really well. So I think they just need to brush up a little bit on that part, and I think they're really good to go. So my question is, who's gonna win tomorrow?
We're gonna win!
Who's gonna win?
We're gonna win!
Yeah!
NUS High, your team wants to hear you loud and proud. So let's do this in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah! Your 4 minutes starts now.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There's just one thing I need to meet my 30 by 30 goal of producing 30% of my food needs locally by 2030.
Nah, not on my watch, Singapore.
Ho ho ho! Not so fast, Grinch!
With Santa here, you will never crush the Christmas spirit.
Ha! You guys think growing plants is so easy. But in fact, you're wrong. There are so many factors you need to take into account. What if I turn off your lights? What if I redirect your water pipe? What if I steal all your nutrients? Your plants will wilt,
No!
rot,
No!
and die.
No! Not my plants! Fret not, I've got just the gift for you. Introducing AgriGift. AgriGift is a modular smart agriculture system. We've got a main water tank, a nutrient tank, and a growing platform for plants. The plants are illuminated with overhead purple light, which is optimized in wavelength for photosynthesis and plant growth.
Wait, that's a hydroponic setup. My vertical farms currently incorporate this to grow plants like bok choy.
Using a nutrient film technique, we can efficiently circulate water-based growth medium to continuously supply nutrients to the plants.
Do you really think that you can supply the most optimal conditions for your plants to grow?
Well, joke's on you, Grinch. We have implemented sensors for temperature, humidity, water level, and electrical conductivity. Also known as EC, this helps us to monitor the nutrient concentration of the water.
Cool. Still doesn't tell me about how you control all these fancy new equipments like whatever these are. What, sensor? Water pump?
Ho ho ho! Presenting the magic, the control loop. The control loop is a way to keep our process variables like temperature and humidity at a certain set point that is ideal for our plant's growth.
Fantastic idea! This means that if the humidity sensor detects the air is too dry, it can send feedback to a central controller. This central controller can then send instructions to the actuator, the humidifier. And after seeing how dry the air is, the humidifier can spray the exact amount of water to return the humidity levels back to normal.
Fine. So what? The needs of a plant vary as they grow.
Well, joke's on you, Grinch. We've also implemented automation and IoT technology, also known as Internet of Things, to solve these problems.
Employee of the month? Tell me more!
Yes, ma'am. Right now, our system may seem rigid and inflexible, but we've already got all these sensors and actuators ready to monitor changes in the environment and adapt accordingly. All that's left to do is link them together so they can communicate.
I see what you're doing. That's IoT. Using a specialized protocol called MQTT, we can send video feed from the camera to a microcontroller. And how exactly do you plan on using this video data?
Well, that's easy. Our controller is connected to a powerful computer vision setup. As soon as the AI detects changes in the plant's health, such as yellowed leaves or dried leaves, the status light will change color to alert the user, and nutrients are pumped into the main tank to supplement the plant until the EC sensor decides that it has reached the optimal level.
What? So you're saying that no matter what I do, the system can adapt and ensure an optimal environment for the plants to grow?
Take that, Grinch. This is amazing. With this system connected to the internet, that means this farm can be controlled remotely through a web page or an app by you and me with greater efficiency.
Exactly. And since our system is easily scalable and modular, we can easily link together many of these boxes to cater to different types of plants.
Ho ho ho! Grinch, you are now on my naughty list. This Christmas, you get nothing. And for Singapore, you get bok choy! Yay!
Your system is amazing. You know, it can measure humidity, temperature, conductivity, nutrients. Just curious, is it able to also measure infections? Because that could also affect your productivity of your crops.
Yes, so as mentioned, we have hooked up a camera to the system that will monitor the plants using a video feed. And we can use AI, what is called a convolutional neural network, to analyze this and look for signs of infection. Basically, our neural network divides the picture that has been sent into many different features. For example, in this setup, each of the leaves could be its own feature, and the stem could also be its own feature. These will then get passed to the AI, and the AI will then be able to identify whether there is infection and also wilting. And then the AI can access online databases to figure out what to do so that it can return the plant's health back to normal, hopefully.
Thank you, judges. Thank you. Last but not least, we've got Catholic High School, and joining them for their final preparations, we've got Ravi G, Oli 968 DJ, and digital creator. Let's take a look.
Hi there, my name is Ravi G and I'm a DJ with Oli 968 and I'm about to connect with Catholic High School. Now, their challenge is to figure out how to mitigate heat in a city. This is a topic close to the hearts of all Singaporeans and I can't wait to see their solutions. So, let's go!
Wow, look at the red facades of the buildings through our thermal glasses.
During the rehearsals, I realized that Catholic High were a bit too fast. They needed to work on the speed because, clarity is key. Other than that, I think their overall presentation was lovely. They were not nervous, they were not hesitant. They took substance and they delivered it with style. Catholic High, I'm going to be your loudest supporter in the grand final. In return, you guys are going to give me the best presentation of your lifetime. You got a deal? Yes! Team Catholic High, your time is now. Let's show them what champions are made of in 3, 2, 1!
Go! Go down, go down! Go down, go down! We are one, we can run! Go down, go down! Go down, go down! We the best, we got test! We got harder than the rest! Oh!
Catholic High, are you ready to take on this challenge? I think you're looking confident, right? Fantastic, you got a lot of supporters over here. Your 4 minutes will start now.
The Singapore of the past was so much better than Singapore of today. Have you seen how hot it is? I can't go a few meters without getting drenched in sweat. Engineers, please help.
Maybe hot now, but I don't think it was any better in the past.
Joshua, use your time machine. Let's go to the past and find out firsthand.
To see the temperature's better, let's put on our thermal glasses.
Wow, look at the red facades of the buildings. This just goes to show how hot Singapore was in the past.
And the air conditioning units at the sides of the buildings spew out hot air, which rises and is heated up further by units on top. This creates a hot plume of air at the top of the buildings, contributing to the urban heat island effect.
Huh? Urban heat island effect? What's that?
Well, that's when buildings, black roads, and other concrete infrastructure absorb heat from the sun due to their high thermal mass. These buildings then radiate heat out into our surroundings.
I bet it's worse now though.
Well, let's look to the future to check. Wow, look at the expanded public transport networks. There are more buses as well as an LRT. This reduces the number of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide emitted per passenger. In addition, this also reduces the total number of heat-producing machines like engines and air cons.
And look, there's more greenery. There are sky gardens on top of the buildings, as well as trees lining the roads. These plants carry out transpiration, releasing water vapor which takes in heat from the surroundings to vaporize.
But the wind, that's the most important factor, and yet it blocks it.
That's why we didn't just stop at these measures. Take a look at the new town being built. Welcome to Colopholis, the new heat smart town.
Look, these buildings are arranged in a perfect formation such that wind is not blocked no matter the angle it blows from. These buildings are also ordered based on height from the coast so that sea breeze coming in is not blocked by taller buildings up front.
And as wind is forced through the narrow guards between buildings, it speeds up. This is known as the Venturi effect, and it helps to cool down the environment even more. We can see this by looking at the blue facades of the buildings over here. This shows us that the building is cool when it's built through our thermal goggles.
But wouldn't the roads that run through these buildings make it worse for residents? People will use cars more. It's hotter.
Well, not really, Lucas. We have now created super blocks, regions of the city where no roads run through. These areas can then be converted into areas of greenery by planting trees and having roof gardens, cooling down the atmosphere. Furthermore, we also have a water feature. This water feature sprays out water from its pump, which evaporates, removing latent heat from the atmosphere, cooling down the air that surrounds us.
And look at this. This is the coolest building. It has everything.
What do you mean by everything?
Firstly, it has louvers on its walls. These louvers can rotate to face the sun throughout the day, ensuring that the building is kept cool by blocking out the sun's rays.
Secondly, it has radiative cool paint, which contains pigments and nanoparticles that reflect light from the sun. It also radiates heat in the low to mid-infrared spectrum, which our atmosphere is transparent to, dumping thermal energy directly into outer space.
Lastly, this building also has an integrated central cooling system, which helps to cool down the district.
Well, Lucas, with these measures in place, are you convinced now?
I sure am. I didn't know science can be utilized to such a great extent. Thank you guys for teaching us about these hot takes on staying cool.
I like that. The hot takes on staying cool. I love that. Excellent job, guys. Thank you so much for that. Judges, any questions after this lively presentation?
Your prototype was designed for Singapore, which has a very hot weather all year round. So if you were to design for a temperate country, how would you modify your prototype?
For countries, especially those with multiple climates, we would want to focus on materials with high thermal mass, so they will be able to absorb lots and lots of heat when the weather is hot, and at night when it's usually cooler, they would radiate this heat out. So not only does it absorb heat in the day, when the temperature is cooler around, in fact when the temperature is too cold, it will also release the heat to keep the people warm.
Thank you very much, judges. Thank you, team. Now we've come to the end of round 2. The judges will need some time to deliberate and tally the scores. So join us for the results after the break. Thank you. Welcome back to the grand final of the National STEM Championship 2025. Before the break, we saw some fantastic presentations for round 2. I was really blown away, I love that. But which one was number 1 for the judges? Let's take a look at the results. Cat High with 418, NUS High with 447, SJI with 413, and ACSI with 403. In top position for round 2 is NUS High. Give them a round of applause to all teams. After calculating the weighted scores for rounds 1 and 2, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Currently in 4th place, NUS High School, 3rd place, St. Joseph's Institution, Cat High in 2nd place, and ACSI at the top right now. Please give them a round of applause. It is now time for the 3rd and final round to decide which school will be the winner of this year's National STEM Championship. In this rapid response round, there are 15 questions. Teams have 10 seconds to key in their answers. A correct answer earns 3 points, but no points are deducted for a wrong or unattempted answer. Teams, are you ready? This is rapid response. Question number 1. What is the last name of the Hungarian physician and scientist who pioneered and championed the use of antiseptic techniques in maternity clinics? There are 10 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is Semmelweis. No points scored during this round. Next question. The germ layers of an embryo are formed during this stage of embryonic development. You have 12 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is gastrulation. Cat High and NUS High scoring points here. Question number 3. What is when the phenotypic effects of a mutation at one locus is dependent on genetic sequences at other loci? You have 9 characters to your answer, and your time begins now. Time's up. And the correct answer is epistasis. Cat High scoring yet another round. Next question. What is the chemical symbol of the only metal that is liquid at room temperature? 2 characters to your answer, and your time begins now. We didn't need 10 seconds for that, apparently. The correct answer is HG. All teams scoring points in this round. Question number 5. With 1 proton, 1 electron, and no neutrons, what is the most common isotope of hydrogen called? There are 7 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is protium. No points scored in this round. Let's move on to question number 6. The name of the molecular tag added to proteins to target them for degradation in a cell is what? You have 9 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is ubiquitin. Cat High and NUS High scoring points again. Question number 7. In the standard model, there are only 3 negatively charged quarks. Down, bottom, and what? There are 7 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is strange. SJI scoring a point here as well, together with Cat High and NUS High. Question number 8. The N-terminal tails of histone proteins are rich in the positively charged amino acids, lysine, and what? There are 8 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is arginine. No points scored in this round. The next question. The event what refers to the imaginary line beyond which even light cannot escape the gravitational pull of the black hole? There are 7 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is horizon. Congratulations. Question number 10. A supernova occurs when a white dwarf explodes after exceeding the what limit? 4 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is Nash. No points scored in this round. Next question. In physics, what theory postulates that subatomic particles are tiny one-dimensional loops? There are 6 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is string. Everyone's scoring points here. It's crunch time with question number 12. This term relates to any disease or condition which arises spontaneously with no known cause. There are 10 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is idiopathic. No points scored as well. Question number 12. Question number 13. Planets that rotate in the same direction as the sun's rotation are said to have a what rotation? There are 8 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is prograde. No points scored here. Question number 14. The causative agent of transmissible spongiform encephalopathies is a what? 5 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is prion. Points go to Cat High and NUS High. This is your final question. What property of water is at its maximum at 4 degrees Celsius? There are 7 characters to your answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is density. And that wraps up the final round of the National STEM Championship. Please give them a big round of applause. And there was so much love shown to you from your classmates, your family, your teachers, your schools. Let's see how they scored in this round. In round 3, ACS at 12 points, SJI with 15 points, NUS High with 24 points, and Catholic High with 24 points as well. Give them a round of applause. We have a tie between 2 schools for this round. So the moment of truth is upon us right now. Since this competition was rebranded as the National STEM Championship in 2022, there has been a different winner every year, which makes things quite exciting. Will it be the case this year? Let's take a look. Round 3 has a weightage of 35%, and the raw scores have been converted to the weighted scores. So let's see what the final scores are. In 4th place, SJI. 3rd place, ACSI. NUS High with 62.74. And the winner of this year, Catholic High School with 65.53 points. Take it all in, you guys. Look at your support right now. Keep on cheering for them, you guys. What an epic final and fitting end to the 2025 series. Now, we'd like to thank our guest of honor, Acting Minister for Culture, Community and Youth, and Senior Minister of State for Education, Mr. David Neo, for joining us today. Can you give him a round of applause? Give it up for Catholic High School! I'm Sonia Chu. It is always a pleasure hosting the National STEM Championship 2025. We'll see you next time. Congratulations!